So, good morning, happy Saturday, and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update on my channel. Today we'll start off with Laurent Koscielny. He is being linked with a move, according to L'Equipe in France. They are linking him to a move to Bayer Leverkusen. Apparently this is a club that interests him, and he is basically looking for a way out. He thinks in his head that he's done at Arsenal. They are not obviously going to give him a new contract. He has 1 year left on that. There's been no formal negotiations whatsoever, and he's thinking that he's still got 2 or 3 years left. Now, Laurent Koscielny's been at Arsenal since 2010. He signed from Lorient in France, and he's played 404 games for Arsenal over that time, winning 3 FA Cups in the process, scoring a couple of vital goals on the last day of seasons as well to get us into top 4. And overall, if you actually summarise his career at Arsenal, it's actually not been too bad. But at the same time, he has been prone to making some massive mistakes along the way. The Birmingham final, him and Szczesny made a massive error. That ended up in a last-minute goal, and we lost that final. Against Atletico Madrid, he tried doing an overhead kick and played Griezmann clean through on goal. And that got them an away goal with 10 men last season. Along the way, he's given away umpteen penalties. I don't necessarily blame him for how bad our defence has been, because he has had some shocking partners alongside him over the years. Way too many to go through. But I think overall he's been the best of a... Actually, not a bad bunch, because overall it's a bad bunch, but him himself, I think he's not that bad. I think he's been half decent for us. I don't rate him as highly as some other Arsenal fans do. They'd have him in the top 5 Arsenal centre-backs in history. Not too sure about that one myself. Definitely not for me. I'd say not even top 10, but it is what it is. But apparently in his head, he wants to play for another 2-3 seasons. He's only 33, so he thinks that he can kick on. He came back from a massive injury in his Achilles, as we all know. And I think he's actually been fantastic since he's come back. A little bit shaky against Southampton, which was his first Premier League game, I believe. He played a Europa League game against Karabag. I think that was his actual return. He then played the game against Southampton, where we conceded 3 goals and ended our 22-game unbeaten run. He was at fault along with Leno for all 3 of them goals, in my opinion. But loyal servant, good player, very rarely had a good partner next to him until this season. In fact, really, all the seasons. But maybe Mkhitaryan. I thought Mkhitaryan was a half-decent defender, but overall, we need to upgrade him. He's come towards the end of his Arsenal career, and Leverkusen looks like the destination for now. Obviously, that'll go on for a few more months, I'd imagine. Somebody that is being linked to replace him by the same article is Samuel Umtiti, the 25-year-old French World Cup winning centre-back. Now, he's been embroiled in a massive row with Barcelona's medical team over his knee injury. He didn't want to have surgery. Barcelona wanted him to have surgery. That has rumbled on all summer since the World Cup. They wanted him to have surgery after the World Cup. He didn't want to. He wanted to do it his own way, the natural way. And it ended up resulting in a 3-month injury with the same knee. He came back on the 1st of February this season. Barely featured any games all season, really. He's played 15 games, only 1 of them in the Champions League. The rest were all in the league. Now, what worries me about this is the fact that he's had the same knee injury three or 4 times now. I think it's 3 times now he's had this injury. And the fact that the reports are going around saying £50 million, 52.9 to be precise, I don't think it's worth the risk. At the end of the day, our league is a lot more intense. It's a lot quicker. At Barcelona, they win most of their games. It's literally walking mode, taking the mick. In the Premier League, you don't get that luxury unless you're Man City or Liverpool. So for me, I don't think that we should go and put £52.9 million into Samuel Umtiti plus wages. Yes, he's only 25 years old. Yes, there's a connection there with Rouse and Haley. and Unai Emery's a keen admirer apparently, but I don't think it's worth it. You know, they want the money. They're looking to sign another centre back. They've got their eye on De Ligt. But for me, I don't think it's worth the risk. I think it's too big a risk to go and do that sort of money on a player that's had the same injury 3 times, that has kept him out for 6-7 months of his career so far. Not for me, definitely not. I think that we should be shopping with that sort of money. Yes, he's a fantastic centre-back. Yes, if you keep him fit, he would absolutely smash it because he is that good. There's a reason he signed for Barcelona and there's a reason he gets picked for France. But for me, I just think 52 million quid, I think that we should actually go and put that towards Maguire or somebody else, somebody that's played in the Premier League, somebody that's not had massive injuries, somebody who's not got a dodgy knee. Now, if we do go and put it into Umtiti and he does sign, obviously we're going to have to do some serious, thorough medicals on the guy. Like I said, if he signs and he stays fit, you've got a fantastic player on your hands, but it's too big a risk. And at this stage of Arsenal's development as a club, from the old regime to the new regime, that is way too much money, in my opinion, to go and throw at a player that could be good in the Premier League. He could also not be good and could also do the same knee and spend half of his career at Arsenal out injured on big money, on a big transfer fee. We've already got too many of them, you know, so I don't think it's worth the money. I don't think it's worth the risk. Go and put that towards a Harry Maguire, a Connor Cody. You could get Cody for less than 50 million quid. Maguire would probably go around the same sort of money, 50 mil. Yes, he's not as good, but he ain't got the injury issues. That's just my take. One last player that is being linked with a move out of the club is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Reports in the Metro are saying that Arsenal are keen to get rid. Like I just said, we've got players that are on big money at Arsenal Football Club. He is one of them, Mkhitaryan. He has got 2 years left on his contract, and I don't know if you guys see the Raul and Vinay interview the other day on Arsenal's YouTube channel. They spoke openly about the fact that if a player's coming into the last 2 years of his contract, they either sign a new deal or we actively seek to get rid of them for a transfer fee. Now, we all remember that Mkhitaryan signed for Alexis Sanchez in a swap deal. I don't know who's had the roughest end of the deal, to be honest with you, because they've both been absolutely garbage since they've joined either team. But Mkhitaryan this season scored 6 goals, 7 assists in 39 games. I think he's been bang average since he's been at Arsenal. Really, really disappointed me, if I'm being honest. I thought that he weren't all that at Man United. Yes, he scored in the Europa League final. But if you ask any Man United fans, they were happy to get rid of him. He did absolutely nothing other than really scoring that goal in the final. And they were already 1-0 up in the game. Yes, it killed the game off. But since he left Dortmund, he just ain't looked the same player. He's looked a shadow of himself. He don't look anywhere near as fit as he did when he was in Germany. That guy was making runs left, right and centre, bombing up and down the wings, scoring goals for fun, assists for fun. And he barely does that. Maybe that's the sign that this league is just a little bit too hard and too rough and tumble for some of these players. They look good in lesser leagues, like Germany, like Italy, places like that, where the tempo is not as quick, the opposition every week are not as good. There's only 1 or 2 clubs in the league that can compete with them. Whereas in England, top beats bottom, bottom beats top, middle beats top, middle beats bottom. It's every week, it is so intense. You cannot predict the results week in, week out in the Premier League. Because if you could, you'd be a millionaire by now. But nobody can predict all the results are going to go a certain way. Every single week there is what you would say is a shock. But now it's getting to the point where it's not a shock. Now, you know, I just look at Mkhitaryan and I think, shame, because we let Sanchez go for this. We let Sanchez walk out of the club for Mkhitaryan, and Sanchez was worth double, if not more, of what Mkhitaryan was in terms of money, but he was worth 10 times more in terms of goals and assists and stuff. He was just an absolute baller for Arsenal. That obviously hasn't worked out at United for him. Mickey's not worked out Arsenal for us, and we are actively trying to get him out the club, get him off the wage bill, and I'm sure that that will rumble on and on and on. But that's my update for the day. Leave your comments down there in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on Umtiti. Would you take the risk on him, yes or no? Like I said, I wouldn't. Koscielny, would you be sad to see him go? Leave that in the comments section as well. I think it's run its course in my opinion, but that is just my opinion. And let me know about Mkhitaryan, whether you think you'd let him go as well. Anyway, I'll be doing a live stream later on this afternoon, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Turn the notification bell on, subscribe if you're new, stick a massive thumb on the video, and I will speak to you later. Laters, peeps.